separate room. I bought separate rooms for everybody.
How did you afford this?
They're surprisingly cheap.
Why? Why are they
Zeph, you do recall that after the journeyman handed over the bag of monies, Matt and Cyrus just took off with it. You were just like left at the house with no money.
Well, at least we couldn't get robbed, but how about we split up that money right now so we actually... Actually, do you guys want to do it more like have a group like bank?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was just going to hold on to it and be group banker.
He is the least
that's
likely
alright.
to be successful mode.
I mean, you do have the guns and you do have the ball, the mox, but I mean, it might come up that I get hungry when I'm walking to the shipyard and want to buy food, or I am dying of thirst, or so.
Well, like, you know, we can have a group bank, and then, like, you know, we can give you guys a stipend.
No, give me an allowance, Mom. I want my allowance now.
You're a grown-up, you'll get a stipend like anyone else.
You know, I suppose you pronounce that stipend.
You're also British, and you say aluminium, so...
Lol.
Aluminium, mum!
You pronounce Mom as Mum. You're like an alien.
Well, so most of this money is actually not mine. It's actually Cyrus's, but I presume Cyrus won't have a problem making more, considering she made like over 1,000 in like an hour.
Oh wow!
Hold
Did
on.
you get like
How?
dog sitting? No, babysitting or like dog walking?
Well, let's just say the word dog might have been involved, but not the actual physical animal.
Wait,
Duh.
what? What?
It might be a style.
I think that I'm not sure if that even.
Martial arts style? Dog
Sure, yeah,
style.
Yeah,
I don't think that.
martial arts style.
I'm not sure if that euphemism entirely makes sense.
She's been fucking. She's been fucking dudes for dough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah, I
does she
recall.
get like?
I'm not entirely comfortable with this concept of like.
Wait, is she
Pimping
literally
sirens
just
out.
doing it for money? She doesn't get like magical powers off them or something? Does she absorb their you know their chakras and like lineage or something? She just
No, I'm pretty sure she just gets a lot of like. God, we guarded that caravan for like 3 days, and we got 700 in total, and she got 750 in total. She just spent like 2 hours and got 1,200. Like,
Damn.
good lord.
why didn't we go to actually sleep with someone important to try and get some political favors rather than just random dudes off the
You know,
streets?
I was literally going to ask that, saying that how she's like magically beautiful. We can use this, guys.
Didn't I literally just say I'm
let's
somewhat?
not go there.
Didn't I just literally say I'm somewhat uncomfortable with the idea of pimping out Cyrus?
Yeah, but we ignored that.
But yeah, we straight up ignored that. Your moral quandaries have no sway in the desert of love, Mido.
Yeah, I'm talking about making money and getting up. Maybe if we get her to sleep with the dudes we just talked to, we could even get a
Why
free
not-
ship.
How about we be cool caravan guards and I can put on a great Clint Eastwood impression and scare everyone off? That was fun. Let's go back to doing that.
Yeah, but that doesn't make nearly enough money.
This is like the difference between working in a warehouse job for $15 an hour or working as an EMT for $12 an hour. Yeah, you can do one, but you're making $3 less an hour, even if you're helping people. I mean, we could be the four pimps and pimp out one person and rule these streets, Mido. No, I'm just fucking. I'm gonna file this away in my head as useful information.
Yeah,
And-
but what if we annoy other pimps and then you could go fight them with your pistols?
WPW and Zeph. Jason Z kind of glances at you. Oh, by the way, you guys stayed behind at the warehouse, right? You were there for a while. You guys learn anything interesting?
No.
No.
Yes, we did.
Adventure over.
Oh, just before we go into that, just what I was kind of building up to, why don't I give you each 50 dinars just as your stipend?
50 dinars is a good starting place. At the very least, it means that we won't die.
I mean, like, the rooms for that cost like 10 each, so like, 50 ought to be a decent amount to, so you're not like starving in the streets or anything like that. And if you need to make more substantial purchases, we can discuss it as a group.
Yeah,
I guess that's all part of the benefits of living in a slave-based society. Speaking of which, is Cyrus like competing with like genie prostitutes? I'm curious.
Oh, shit, that's worth looking into.
Roll a lore check, WP.
Why do I need more money?
I ain't sleeping with a ghost. Though I guess there wouldn't be any diseases or anything, I suppose. I can't say that for sure. I could grow.
I'm all about that life. Let's get it.
Oh shit! Snort some crystal powder right off a genie's dick. Let's do it.
Because I was just thinking of making like genies which can do household tasks. I didn't realize I could make genies which what
Suck you off. Go into your ass. Hey genie, I got a bottle here for you. Climb up my asshole and I'll take you for a ride. I will show you the world.
When I imagine myself ending up in a fantasy universe with super magical powers and like a flame shotgun, and martial arts, and a stare that can scare just about anything on the world, I didn't expect it to end up being I was going to end up the bodyguard for pimps.
That's the thing that they can never code into. Into a fantasy world, that's the thing. That's the society. They tell them that they can't make settings that fit into that. But I mean, think about how many isekais end up with a guy that has a straight up harem.
Yeah, but I feel like this is.
Anyway.
I feel like we've diverged from just having a harem to like running one.
Okay. Anyway, back to the guys we talked to.
Yeah. Okay. So we figured out a lot of things. We figured out the best way to get around the sea on one's own is to own a ship. The ships float on needle points. They're fucking beautiful looking. Apparently, I haven't seen one yet. But all the things we transferred are stones that effectively can be programmed to float, or have the program built into them. It's complicated, but the point is, you get a stone, you build a network for the stone, and then you build a ship for the network, and then you get a floating boat, and that's how people get around and transfer goods and services, not via caravan, but very quickly via effectively ships that float on the sand.
Didn't you say that you had a bunch of nautical knowledge for some reason?
You damn straight I do. And I am no longer confused about how best to move about the sea. And I am also, this has nothing to do with necessarily the stones, though we did learn a tidbit about effectively the Excalibur of stones, which people are starting to look for in a place called the Tear, which sounds suitably adventure-y enough. But
so I think what you're saying is we get one of these ships. We fly to find this Excalibur stone. That sounds exciting.
Yeah, it's called Blazelum or
Our
something.
name is Adventures.
Rewind a step. Okay, so if that's the most effective means of conveyance, that pretty much tells me that where we are right now, it's all fucking desert. How does that make any sense? Because the last place we were in was like a solid forest. Is this just like biome planet?
It might be biome planet. It might also be that there's actual water nearby.
There's a lake.
You're from the United States. Like, you have giant boreal forests and then like a fucking desert on the same continent.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, and mountain ranges.
Fuck you.
Ah shit, we're in magical America? Oh god.
America's
like,
Our guns, right?
I mean, if you want to go like European, you have, well, it's not like adjacent, but you have like giant forest next to a steppe. Next, and that steppe borders a desert.
Africa has the Congo, and the same continent has the Sahara. It's a thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I'm surprised I haven't seen ocean or heard of ocean yet, like actual water. Though apparently it is called the sea. So, but in any case, what I was going to suggest is rather than go on join the rest of our constituents on a treasure hunt, effectively for something that may or may not exist by logic, we actually think a little bit about why we're here. Like, why are we here? Why are we in this location? Why have we been...
like, why we're here on this planet? Or, like, why are we here instead of, like, that Ashimachi place?
Yes, both of those things.
Well, I
Why?
think the first answer, like, did you all hear, like, the voice that said, like, we have to go to the center or something and find the fire people?
Yeah, I still don't know what that means yet. And though I suspect it has something to do with whatever the opposite of that demon ghost of darkness that straight up murdered our asshole, that we may have been brought to Ashimachi to stop, since it seemed like no matter what we did, all of our actions were directed towards that one spot. And I think that as the protagonists of this isekai, I'd say it's about time we start taking up that role a little bit. Because, I mean, I'm fine with being caravan guards, and I'm fine with, helping people out with their day-to-day tasks, but it's not very, how I'd say, is hero-like. It's very much like pedestrian bystander-like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a big treasure hunt going on, right? So, like, we find the treasure, and then we get famous, and then we can use that to, like, catapult us into to have more knowledge of how the world works and whatnot. Like fame and fortune, and not having to pimp out Cyrus to make ends meet.
It's all a matter of thought process. Why would we say, like, go out and earn a name for ourselves as heroes finding a magical doohickey and then utilizing said doohickey when we can just act like heroes now, present ourselves as such, with a backstory that is not at all made up, since we did fight a demon ghost being and come back to life.
Well, there's four key...
Well as, it's just like thinking about it. We're not pimping out Cyrus. Cyrus is her own person. She can make her own decisions, and she has decided she wants to fuck for cash. That's now in her repertoire of tools at our disposal.
I guess that's fair, body and all that.
Yeah, I mean, we're not forcing... We never said, hey, Cyrus, go fuck some people, and if you don't, then you ain't getting your drug money, you hoe. We said, hey, we don't think this is a great idea. Cyrus thought about it, disagreed, and proceeded to fuck for cash. And now we're rich, relatively speaking.
Well, I mean, there's four key components of any good adventure. There's mystery, there's high stakes, there is incredible danger, and there is incredible booty and rewards. So,
That's four
like,
components.
didn't I say four? Didn't I say four?
Three.
Well,
Three components.
Okay, well, there's a fourth one. So, I think we're gonna go out and we gotta, I think, to get this adventure really underway, we need to find something mystical, something with high stakes, and something challenging, and something with good rewards. And then we'll be the real heroes.
With that in mind, I know you offered to accompany the journeyman back to Alardai, but we not.
I think we actually should probably, since what we should do is we should follow the journeyman back to Alardai, or and fulfill our end of the bargain, and thus not like immediately earn a reputation of people who only fulfill half of a bargain. Plus, like I said,
our contract was just to take Mafia. It wasn't to take them back.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is the first day, so, like,
They're a bunch of, like, monks and shit. They don't really have anything to steal on the way back.
Money. They did make the trade. They did they come there with the intent to sell, and now that they have sold,
they're maidenhood, because they're monks.
I don't think they sold it. I think they're just the providers, the distributors, or whatever.
Yeah, we're not ditching them on like the day of. This is like, you know, the day we got here. We can just this is like tomorrow. We're gonna just find them and be like, hey, you know, some stuff came up. Appreciate the offer, but you know we've got some other stuff to pursue, and you know, apologize. So, you know, it's not like leaving them high and dry or anything like that.
WW, at this point, you do recall that the two artificers basically said, like, hey, if you guys stick around town for a couple of weeks, like, when these crystals are finished, you should accompany them across the lake to Maniera so you can see them.
Oh shit, did I not say that? Right, yeah, team, we've got an offer to go on like a science expedition? Some kind of, you know, expedition, possibly involving this, I don't know what the fuck they were. I actually kind of forget what they were asking us to do, but they invited us with us, and they're pretty cool, and they've got boats. So I think we should go hang out with those guys.
Yeah, from what you remember, they were just like, hey, yeah, if you're interested in seeing how, you know, if you guys showed some interest in how ships are built, so they were like, hey, if you want to see the next step, like, we're going to be shipping these off, so why don't you go?
Well, I mean, the main focus here on that was that in a few weeks, that is going on. That they're bringing in we will see the next process and how ships are made in a few weeks. Now, the other thing I'd like to remind everybody is that the agreement was half now, and half on arrival, half on delivery.
Yeah, no, we already got paid.
Okay.
Yeah, we spent the first half at the general store, like getting all of our tremologs and whatnot.
Fuck you, got paid.
And we have the other half in my group bank.
So what do you think we should do for 3 weeks anyway? Just like
build a ship,
get a job.
We've got a stable income already, you know.
Cyrus
is booty.
Yeah, but like, you know, to help me feel better, you know, I'll do some work to help contribute to the plot. I'm sure I can get a job as a bouncer.
I think we should aim a little higher than that. Mido, we need to find out how the city runs.
I guess we could go find the Adventurers Guild again.
I think we should consider ourselves as an individualized faction in terms of this.
Yeah, but no one's going to listen to us because we're just some idiots. If we're part of like a guild, then they can give us jobs and places to go like they did before.
Yeah,
if we get like a sand ship or something like that, and you know we've got a decent amount of income, we can like you know, organize ourselves into like a, you know, private mercenary company kind of deal.
Along with that,
I mean, we do seem to be pretty stacked towards scaring and killing. I was thinking that we could in the meantime, sell ourselves as bodyguards to someone who actually matters instead of.
I am. What do you think we should do? I am currently. I'm curious what your thoughts are.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna drink. That's my first step.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea, Zeph. That's more or less in what line I was thinking of. You know, just get some temporary work to pass the weeks.
Yeah, I'm looking at high-level temporary work, like stopping that pirate person who's actively sabotaging and attacking numerous ships throughout the area, and is allied with multiple different groups. I feel like if we stop them, we will earn the animosity of enough groups to actually matter and have ourselves known across as being a couple of badasses,
okay,
as well as earning the goodwill and fortune of multiple different companies.
Yeah, I mean, like, that makes sense, but the problem is, you know, they're probably based out in the desert, and I don't really feel like walking through the desert in the hopes of eventually trying to find this lady.
I mean,
I'd say that's probably a goal for once we, you know, we go to the place where they make the sand ships, we build up some money in the meantime, and then we see if we can purchase one.
Well, I mean, that makes sense, but they're not based out in the desert, because the closest place they would likely turn to is here. So, for the moment, over the next few days, likely, they will be here, rather than out at random in the desert. And if we can find them, defeat them, we will earn effectively all the street cred that she and her group has. We'll get that. That will become ours.
I mean, this isn't like GTA. It's not going to be like plus 500 respects after we kill her.
I mean, it will be very much like that. And why did they kill?
Do we need to kill her? I think, you know,
it'd be better if we didn't.
taking her down and like arresting her. Probably a bounty on her head.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. That'd be a useful little fund to build up.
We stop her, get the bounty. We use the bounty to buy the pieces to a ship or a ship itself, or we just take. If she has a ship, we get the ship, and we've suddenly earned both the. Many people will owe us some kind of, hey, you stopped the person who robbed me last week.
Yeah, but we have no idea where she is. None of us know the area. None of us have any like abilities to investigate. Like, how the fuck are we going to find out about where she is?
Well, tomorrow, I suggest we ask. We talk to some law folk.
I'm a reasonably charismatic person.
Reasonably charismatic.
Didn't we just wake up?
I mean, like, if I'm being honest, I could probably... I could probably inspire a revolution with my levels of charisma, so...
I hope you don't, because, like, I feel like I can make these slave genies as well. So, like, if this doesn't work out, I might make a business out of that. Making more slaves.
I'm not going to start a revolution. I'm just trying to give you guys a yardstick to measure, like, how freaking magnetic I feel my personality is right now.
I feel like I've been given the ability to sail a ship, but I probably should have given the ability to run a business, because I'm feeling this, right? So we have, and in note, we have somebody who can effectively sleep with anybody. We have you magical gunman bastard, you. WPW, you are magic as fuck, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know what we should do right now. I feel like I'm not really sure what they do at this point in the adventure. Like, they just go to the tavern and ask for clues or something. I'm not really sure what we should do on this.
Well,
Drink for a week.
we'll spend a week kind of like gathering information, working odd jobs. I'll see if I can probably get a job as a bouncer, like the biggest club in the city or something like that.
That's a little bit more in the direction I was aiming at, yeah. I mean, I always thought it was silly that adventurers would be like, hey, let's go to the tavern and drink away our problems, and also maybe we'll run into some information that'll make us money, instead of going to the king and being like, hey, I'm a badass hero-type motherfucker with good connections and whatnot. Do you guys have any problems that you would like me to solve? That's how the ancient Varangians managed it. It's like, hey, you show up to the Vincent Port and you're like, hey, I'm awesome. Got a use for me? And they're like, well, can you go fuck off and solve something for me? And then they actually go out and do it, crazy fucker, and they come back and they're like, hey, we did that thing. We're like, hey, you're useful.
Alright, so guys, the night winds on. We are spending about 79 hours in drinks. That's probably most of me. We all eventually go to bed. We go to sleep. What do you guys want to do over the next 2 weeks? And let me drop a GM line here. To say, we're probably not coming back to Magia, so plan accordingly for that. You were thinking about getting into some kind of involved scheme, blah blah blah. When we leave the city, we're probably not going to come back in this campaign.
I'd like to try to get a job at a bouncer at like the highest establishment I can, using my powers of intimidation. I feel like I should probably be pretty good at it.
Okay, yeah. You end up getting just like a temporary gig. I don't know. There's a club in the fringe of the commercial district that it basically resembles an opium den. And I don't know, one of their guys got beat up or something, so you sub for him. WPW, I know you have your sorcerers working going. We can assume that goes smoothly. So what is this thing that you have made?
Okay. It's a genie. It's kind of like, I posted a picture. Hold on. Can you get back to me in a sec? Let me just pull, collect my shit.
Yeah, that's fine. Zeph, what are you gonna do?
Information gathering. I'm going to find out the different factions that are in the city as well as in other cities. See how much information I can learn about the little world that we're in, as well as just kind of gain an understanding of the political system. And I'm going to find out like who the big names are in the area, heroes, villains, alike.
Okay. I don't have information in that kind of detail, but what you do, the information that I can give you right now, is basically an overview of the history of Makia. And it is, the whole deal how it was settled by people from Azir, who brought along their workers who were ethnic Burmese. Then the whole, actually I don't think I ever explained this in detail. I'm just gonna say, yeah, you learned stuff because, again,
I was
along on this. I can make a doc for you if you want that has information.
I'd say it's easy enough that we can say that I can say that as you build the information, we can just say retroactively that I know that.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, or like if it's like you can even include it as plot points like, Zeph, you remember this? And I'm like, okay, I guess I remember that now.
Butts. You remember butts.
Ah, no.
So, about a week passes. Mito, when you are returning to the Silver Lion, one of the journeymen approaches you. Basically tells you that the regular mercenary group just arrived in Makia. The guys that we basically replaced. And their sand ship that they were traveling on in between jobs was destroyed outside the town of Chopsy. So the journeymen are pretty much taken care of. The mercenaries are going to go back with them. They're based out of Al-Jabai to begin with, so it's not out of their way. So that is covered.
Yeah, but I'll thank them for letting me know, and I'll wish them safe travels.
And put a pin on the map saying there's a sand ship ruin now somewhere out in the desert.
Okay. Right. The sorcerer's
crystals.
The sorcerer's working. Here are my notes. The book mentions you can make a spirit loyal to factions rather than people. So what I'm making is kind of like a bird-like spirit that can deliver messages between us. And I'm gonna call them Argos after the peacock that was loyal to Hera and the giant who had the whole thing. So
you and Greek mythology, man.
Okay, basically Argus is loyal to the general Voidwalker circle. Basically, if one of you yell out his name Argos, they can figure out where you are and go there. And then when you say who you want to send it to, they can figure out where the person is. Presuming you know where they are, or if they're another member of the group. So they can find the group if they're wherever, but you'd have to give him the address if you want to send him to someone who isn't in the Voidwalker circle. Yeah, and this is the image, basically, kind of like similar to my kind of feather aura, but sort of made up of different kind of fractured colors.
Pretty.
Like this picture I posted.
Nice. Also,
so guys, after a few days pass, WPW basically breaks out a magical messenger spirit bird, and we are now able to hear it over vast distances by calling on it. Right.
That's fucking sweet.
Neat.
Neat. Oh.
Yeah, no, that's really cool, WPW. Hopefully we won't be too separated for too long to use it all that much, but it'll be handy for when we do need it.
I'm gonna take a picture of it with my cell phone.
I am
because we all have cell phones.
One other thing I wanted to do is it possible for me to investigate the option of getting more ammo?
Oh yeah, totally. So your ammunition is quite rare. There is one particular shop in Makia that has it. You visit a couple of places and get pointed this way and that. And you finally find out 3 shells available.
Oh yeah, also...
Can I piggyback on
how much, sorry?
They're like $50 a piece.
No, how many shells? Sorry?
Three.
3. How much money did I make, out of curiosity, with my job?
I'm actually just gonna hand wave money at this point, just because it's a trivial expense versus.
That's fair.
You've been working like a regular job, and then Cyrus has been doing her thing.
Yeah, and this is why the DOT system exists at all, is because rather than saying, hey, we have this X amount of money and this
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You have resources to a resource is one expense. You just buy it.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's better than D&D's solution, which ends up with, like, most things costing basically nothing, and then, like, anything anyone cares about being stupidly expensive.
Right.
Oh yeah. Also,
I always prefer this more generalized way of system buying things like this. I mean, naturally, anything like ridiculously high price will be out of our we will fall into one of 5 categories of purchase. Yes.
yeah. A couple of things. So I am like, if I did like peep on Cyrus doing their thing, how many sorceress motes might I gain from that?
Oh god.
Oh yeah. Also, delivery bird guy. He has the personality of a UPS driver.
Fuck! Why would you make this?
And he just also, because he comes from Earth, he just makes references to Earth UPS driver things.
Oh no.
I like the idea of fast talking bird Pete things that are just super smarmy. Like, here's your fucking package. What the fuck do you want? Oh, hey, Zeph said, hey, eat a dick. And actually, I say that too. Eat a dick.
My union will hear about this.
Okay, so that first week passes more or less without incident. I mean,
I think I might start another project in the second week, actually. Maybe.
Presuming you buy up 3 shells that are available at that one shop, they do say like they can try to get a hold of more. There's just really not much of a market for them because generally they're hard to use and they're hard to come by.
I was
Not
gonna
a lot of people have markets.
I was gonna actually ask to piggyback on the mission and then ask them where they go to get the shells in hopes of finding somebody who knows how to make them.
Side note, Zeph, skirting the whole exploding shells thing that didn't really go anywhere. If you go craft super and all, if you can just make me ammo, that would be great.
That is the future plan in the future.
Well, I can make a spirit that crafts ammo.
I mean, there you go. You need like silver. You need silver craft XP. Just constantly make me ammo.
I mean, yeah, but I can build. Oh, and I can repair ships too.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you need silver crafting XP to do your gold craft XP level things.
Hey,
So
I am.
make me ammo,
How-
build
how-
a ship, and make artifacts.
Hey, I
In
am.
that order.
What ambition would it be to make a spirit which just makes ammo?
That is what?
A spirit that makes ammo. What ambition would that be?
I think you would have to first know how to make ammo and then be able to teach the spirit how to make ammo.
I mean, it doesn't say you have to know. I mean, it kind of helps, I suppose. I mean, would this come under household chores? I don't know. Probably not.
Maybe in IM's house.
Tee.
Oh, I am not to cut off WPW's interesting concept, but for the second week, what I would do is, with the first bit of looking around, I think I would arrive and find the place where the ships are being like stored and whatnot, and I would sell my services as a person who can repair ships and build parts.
I mean, you can do that here in Makia if you wanted to. I mean, Makia is on a big lake, and there's a river that runs through the entirety of the reach. So you could easily market your skills as a ship repairman and just work that for a couple.
I'm gonna do that on top of the rest of what I'm doing.
Actually, in the course of that, I'm sure you probably ask about sand ships because you are curious about their workings. So they operate entirely east of the river. Since they can only really travel on sand, and the area west of the river is kind of like not entirely desert, it's more risky for them because the needles are very fragile. So you can't like run into rocks or dirt or anything like that. It'll snap off. So yeah, okay, you do that for the time. WPW, I don't really have an answer for you just yet, just because that's a capacity that's like a spirit that manufactures things like that. I don't really know where that fits in.
That fits into like just having like an NPC that has craft skills. You basically can tell them to do stuff, and they will, if they have the materials and the whatnot, they will in the time that it would normally take for a person to craft a thing, it will do it.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
you can...
especially in this instance, just because like rather than being because in normal Exalted, fire wands are muzzle loaders, right? So fire dust is the restriction thing, right? And it's this magical powder that's mined from wherever down south. In this case, it's cartridges full of that stuff. So I mean, it's I'll think about it. I guess I don't know.
The obvious one is that none of us know how to make that, and until we obtain that knowledge, I don't think we would be able to make a spirit that knows how to do that.
I mean, notwithstanding the fact that like I don't think we're gonna be embroiled in enough stuff where either of you are gonna run out of ammo before the campaign ends.
Well,
Fair enough.
The natural idea of making ammunition is if we don't use it, we can sell it, since it is one cartridge is enough to buy 5 bowls of.
Soup.
We are effectively making better currency.
Yeah, well, I'm just having this lizard saute with fresh desert vegetables.
Hey, when it says grant mutations to oneself or a willing subject, does that mean the merit mutations? Can I like give?
Yes.
It does.
So
Yes, you
I
can
could
give yourself armored skin, like I did.
Huh. Okay.
In fact, I would suggest you do that.
Look, you could even use it to instill like subtlety on your wing if you wanted
Indeed.
Or give other people wings.
Or give other people wings, yes.
to. Oh no! Everybody has wings.
Actually, can you just do that?
I'm perfectly fine being terrestrial.
Could you just like give me subtle wings? Could you do that?
Well, it'd take another while to make them subtle. Like, yeah, I could give.
It's worth noting, if they're subtle wings, then they like fold into your back, which is even more horrifying when you come out.
No, it'd be like a beetle. You see, it opens its
You're
shell.
all wearing
and-
like robes and dusters, so.
I'm down with beetle wing. I'm down with the power of flight whatsoever.
I'm now just kind of picturing your back like lifting up and like wings coming out.
Oh god, oh that's freaky. It's like some cyberpunk shit.
Yeah, like, it's worth noting, subtle does not mean invisible wings, it means you can hide them.
Although your back becomes the wings, like that one Dexter villain.
Okay, guys. So a second week passes. What do you do? I mean, anything different from the first week? Anything specific that you guys want to look into, or learn about the location, or whatever?
No, but seriously, how many motes am I getting?
Probably like look at try to spend some time at like a library or something to try to get like my hands on a world atlas, just to figure out where we are in Damaji, like what kind of towns are around. I guess like basically all the stuff that would result in us getting the in-universe version of the maps you've already given us.
No, but seriously, how many motes am I getting peeping
Oh my
on
God.
Cyrus?
Into it, okay? Jeez.
Okay. I want to get my
You need 6 fucking sorcerers. There you go.
Oh, sweet.
Isn't there like a cap on how many you can have?
I don't think there is actually.
It's a once per scene you can do it, and they're story length. However, you do lose the ones that you got from the sleeping.
Does
So
it?
those reset each time you go to sleep.
Oh yeah, obviously, but yeah.
Alright, yeah, and I'll just keep working my job, and if I can find time to see if I can get more ammo, then I'll do that as well. Just to be on the safe side.
Sure, yeah. When the second week passes, you stop by the shop again on the way up. They have another 5 shelves.
So if I create a rift between two realms of existence that allow communication, possession, or similar forms of limited interaction, can I talk to the other realities that we exist in?
No. Moving on.
What are the other what are the realms? You're not the DM. You're not my supervisor.
In Exalted, I think that's like communicating with like the Heavenly Council and like all those guys, or like talking to somebody in the dead in the land of the dead, or whatever.
Well, I mean, we're in the land of the dead. Can I talk to our dead ghosts? Can I get them to forgive me if I talk to our dead selves?
Oh Jesus!
Can I ask for forgiveness? Will I get possessed by my dead self?
Go crazy and stuff marbles up your nose.
So
Okay,
I mean, what is that? What
At the
I?
end of the second week, Zeph, a messenger arrives, and Zeph and WBW, you're told that hey, the Lebanon crystals have finished construction at El Corral, and are ready to be shipped over to Montier if you guys are still interested in accompanying them.
I want to make something else in the second week, but I'm not sure what. I mean, another sorceress working. I don't know if I should stop wasting time and maybe come up with it later.
How about you manufacture a more efficient means of creating genies? In the meantime, while working as a shipbuilder during that second week up before this point in time, I would go back to those two guys and effectively start either watching or apprenticing under them, learning how to build other things, like what their standards of what they do and what they,
Okay, sure. Yeah, you spend some time with the artificers and just kind of learn the ins and outs. You got that brief tour of the studio, but now you get to see how things actually work. The different tools and machinery that they employ actually go towards creating a Lebanite crystal.
Yes, and also you never know when knowing the blacksmith is handy, as I've learned in real life now. So if I need something, it's nice knowing the two people in the city. Which when you ask a random person in the city, hey, who's the best person to ask about X? They point you to these two guys. So yeah, and meanwhile, I would let them know definitely we are absolutely interested in following this train where it will.
Is there anyone I can learn any eclipse spells off in the city?
No, there's not.
Sorry, I just turned back on.
So you guys all put your shit together. Not that we have like a whole lot of position at this point, and we get ready to journey across the lake to Montier.
How much are spiders?
Oh, the cow spiders?
Yes.
I don't know. I'll say they're like probably a one. Well, maybe a 2 resource expense because I mean they are cattle and they're kind of precious out here.
We're not buying a spider cow.
Oh, so we're just gonna walk alongside them?
I mean, we're crossing a lake, right? There has to be like a boat. Okay, sorry, my...
Yeah, I didn't catch that either. I think you kind of cut out a bit.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I said, like, there's a lake, but there has to be a boat.
That's right. Yeah. There's a boat ready to take you guys across. You guys have spent enough time in the city now where, Ake is an active trade port, specific to the beach because it's so isolated from the other city-states. Ashimachi did business with every other city-state and the territories at the same time. Mafia just kind of handles business with it.
Do I ever get any leads on the pirate lady or people that she's robbed?
Oh, you know what? You investigate that, and curiously, you don't see any boundary. People know of her. They know of her gang, but there doesn't seem to be any official, hunt for them, which is quite curious. You do recall hearing that she has a lot of ties with big businesses in Maki.
Yeah, I mean, this would be effectively like finding out that those ties are really good ties. Which would actually probably promptly put me off the case, because I'm like, so I could be messing with people that are in charge of this.
Yeah, I mean, it would kind of just be like, oh, I want to go after this mafia boss, and you end up biting off a little more than you can chew just because he's so big.
Good opportunity to lay low rather than shake the stick.
Okay, so you guys climb on the boat. Again, we have everything we own on our backs thanks to Mido buying backpacks because he's smart. And you venture across the lake that I haven't named to the town of Mani-Ur. It's a very small town. It's essentially just a shipyard with houses around to house the workers and their families, their spirits, etc. There's only about 1,000 people here. I'm going to say there's really not anything to do. They have like a single tavern type deal, which is where everybody, almost everybody in the town hangs out there. That is, of age and free and has money to do so.
They're a port town with nothing to do in it, and only a tavern.
So you learn that including Makia, there are 5 major towns along the shores of the lake. Mani-Ur is just it's not a commercially successful area. They just make ships and sell those.
What do the ships look like, by the way?
So over here, there's just regular boats on the lake. I don't know if you're looking for a style guide. I don't know, make something up.
No, well, are they sailboats or are they spirit push?
There's a combination of both. There are sailboats that are just totally regular. It really depends on the size of the craft. As it moves up, you have more sophisticated mechanisms such as minor gods who are gods of wind, who can just provide the boat with locomotion.
Are any of the ships using like levinite on like our rudder, where levinite has been programmed to push?
No,
and it's
so these ships are because they have the convenience of being on water, which naturally, a boat naturally moves on water, so there's no need for magical assistance unless you're talking about sails.
I mean, I guess if it's a river with current, then that's accurate. Yeah.
I always pictured the sand ships as kind of like a catamaran kind of deal.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, Mani-Ur not only makes regular boats, they also make sand ships, which is really the whole reason that you guys came here. You accompany the Levinite crystals, which are you notice they're being handled very carefully. WPW and Zeph, you do recall hearing that the structure, and Zeph, you saw it in person when you accompanied the artificers as they were building them. The frameworks are very fucking intricate, and just due to the nature of the materials and the way that it's set up, they're extremely fragile. So they're carried in these very heavy lock boxes that are padded and blah 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 blah. So you guys accompany the crystals into town. The town is very boring. There's not a lot to do here unless you're interested in watching the process of building sand ships.
I am. That's the point.
Okay, so Zeph, you basically follow along. You're just kind of shadowing the group, right? They're just going about their regular business.
Well, I'm probably gonna be. I'm chatting with them because I enjoy conversation about that.
Okay, yeah, you have some great conversations, and you learn in detail the process of all the components that come together to build the sand ship. So they just received the crystals. The crystals are evaluated. Plans are drawn up, and all of that is kind of set in stone before the
before the ship is actually built, and part of that is actually finalizing a contract with a buyer before, because why would they just build ships and then nobody buys them, right? They essentially get the crystals, plot out a ship, offer that to whatever business is interested in, or business or corporation or group is interested in buying one, and then finalize that deal and then get started on construction.
How much does it cost to build a ship?
So the smallest ships. So one thing that you learn is that lebanite crystals have a system of increasing returns rather than diminishing returns. So sand ships cannot be under a certain size. Like, you can't have a canoe-sized sand ship. It's too small. Like, the crystal, the crystal is just too big. A crystal capable of levitating a canoe-sized vessel is too big for it to be practical. The smallest available ships are about 850,000 dinars, with the largest ones being upwards of 4 to 5 million.
What happens if you have a small, like, canoe-sized ship, and you try to equip it with a Does it just get blasted into the air?
No, what I think he's saying is, like, the lebanite crystal and its whole housing and, like, everything is so big and bulky that it would not fit on a canoe.
But imagine taking a car engine and trying to install it on, like, a bike.
I've seen people attempt to do that with unusual results. I'm just curious to know what would happen if you did.
I guess generally, like, it's possible you can do it, but, like, it would be like you have a canoe, and then the lebanite crystal, which occupies the entire interior of the canoe, and then, like, a couple chairs on top that you ride in.
To form equivalently a hover thing.
Right, it would operate like a hovercraft, yeah. So it's not like it's impossible, but it's so impractical that nobody does it.
I'm thinking hoverboard.
Oh no!
And it
I
will
mean,
fly.
At that point, you're just basically, like, standing on the housing of a giant lebanite crystal with a needle pointed at the ground.
Well, I mean, I think the idea is if you equip a levitating, like, thing onto something that's way smaller than what it needs to levitate, how high would it be able to levitate?
No, I mean, it would still levitate at the ideal distance. It's important to note that they're not, like, hovering off the ground. The needle is still making contact with the ground. It negates the bulk of the vessel so much that it's able to sit on its needle. And Mito, you mentioned catamarans. The ships do in fact have skids on the sides to keep them from rolling from side to side. And Zeph, the main complication with building a canoe-sized ship that's supported by lebanite is how do you then propel it?
I'm just picturing like Zeph, like, standing in this canoe, like one of those, like, Venetian, like, poles, like,
Yeah, like a gondola. He's just poking the sand, like pushing the ship ahead. You know what? It's not unfeasible. It's a little weird, but it's not. It's not outside the realm of possibility. But again, like I said, like, how do you find a buyer for that? You know what I mean? It's such an expensive piece of equipment that just get a horse or whatever the equivalent, a lizard.
yeah, like these crystals are probably so expensive that, like, you could make it something like this, but if you put it into a bigger ship, you can sell it for a profit, actually.
Oh yeah, that's one thing that you find out as you ask about prices is that a similar sized ship, like the smallest one that costs 850,000, a similarly sized regular ship is like 80,000 dinars. So the crystal is like 700,000 dinars worth of stuff.
WPW put down on a note or something like that. Sorceress working to create alternative form of transportation that is cheaper than lebanite.
What ambition would that be?
Probably a lot.
Maybe not.
I mean, it's creating a single object.
And just conjuring out of air instead of having to farm lebanite or something. In theory, you could just make a spirit that's job is to make things float.
Well, that's exactly what a lebanite crystal is.
Exactly.
It's a god.
And this would be a solar created deity that is effective.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not really seeing anything of equivalence in the sort. I think mostly because sorcerer's workings are like, I want to enchant all the fields in this town, or
Yeah, I mean,
I want to create a spirit that lets us talk to each other.
exactly. They're very custom worked. Like there's not really like a precedent, unfortunately, for a lot of it. But I mean, it's basically
not that, but I think it's intended to not step on the toes of craft.
right. But yeah, not there yet. Oh, I guess I should have been asking for specific projects when I was talking about. Hey, can I get some silver in this motherfucker? Anyway, well, we're good. So continue the story. I'm done with my questions.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we can figure that out later. If you are legitimately interested in crafting something, or figuring out what you got, because you did work time in repairs. So repair does count as a project that will award you with a crafting expert.
So just out of curiosity, that sand shipwreck I learned about, where is it in relation to us right now?
Okay, so Chopsy is directly north of Moneyere. Chopsy is a small town, mainly populated by Pyrenees descendants, which is right outside the town. So I don't know. Let me just finger gauge this distance. It's maybe like 300 kilometers. 150 kilometers north of where you.
Do you mind just linking the tour guide?
Oh, I guess I almost completely forgot, but now that I've arrived and seeing the assembly, I get to see what a ship looks like.
Yeah, as I said, sand ships are basically built to the same, generally the same look as a sailing ship. That's chiefly for aesthetics. Like, you could make a sand ship that's just a box, or you could make one that looks like a mansion, if you really wanted to. But most people choose to have it as a boat just because they're called sand ships and you look cool.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, there could be an ingrained aesthetic to that, but I mean, I guess that would be something that we could have show up too, as well as just like people that have weird sand ships, cool sand ships. You build them to be really ostentatious.
As we're kind of like touring around, I'm gonna ask like the artificers, like, if we were to bring a broken sand ship, like, what would it cost to get it kind of repaired?
Well, that would. So you speak to one of the shipwrights, because the artificers did not accompany.
Oh, right, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So, but you do speak to one of the shipwrights, because obviously they build ships, and I'm sure they repair them too. So he says, it would depend on the extent of the damage, and a number of other factors, and plus, you have to bring it in to start with, which would require a sand ship, or at least a caravan of very steadfast spiders.
Mido. I can repair things, dingus.
Yeah, I was just asking. So I'll take Zeph aside and be like, hey, before we left, the journeyman met up with me. Told me that the mercenaries they've been waiting on finally showed up, so they didn't need us for the return trip.
Holy
that all
fuck,
got
it took
sorted.
them 2 fucking weeks to show up. Fucking asshole.
But they also told me that the reason why their mercenaries were late is their sand ship was destroyed outside of Chopsy, which is just to the north of here.
Oh. Oh dear, what an unfortunate tragedy.
Yeah, I knew your heart would be overflowing with sympathy.
Sympathy, yeah. Where specifically did their ship crash?
What did they say? It was where in relation to Chopsy was it again?
I'll say it was I don't know, east, I guess.
Yeah. Just a little east of Chopsy, and that's. I spent some time in the libraries in Makia, and that's just to the north here, about like 150 kilometers.
Well, I'd say we have a heading for where we're going.
Mido, if you wanted, you could assume you probably want to buy a copy of a map.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if I could have.
That would be just another casual expense. You receive a map that is actually printed on a rolled-up scroll of silk, because paper is very hard to come by. Right, they're the metal sheets of cheese, but there's not a ton of them. That's why.
Well, you have giant ass spiders.
Right, exactly.
At this point, I would look at Mido as he returns with this rolled-up piece of silk, and I'd be like, dude. I would show him the picture I took of the map that I would have found when I would be talking to the people in town, and I've got it on my phone.
Except for your battery is at 64%.
Solar charge, you motherfucker!
Yeah, I mean, sure, but also, like, this... It's a fucking silk map, man. Like, this is so cool.
Okay, fine. You get to keep your wall scroll.
Look, I want to be in, like, freaking fantasy isekai, not fucking, like, fucking smartphone anime.
Hold on. Hold that thought. I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to take a selfie with Mido's disgruntled face.
Very good. Alright, WPW, start a sorceress working to allow you to spirit that prints images from the cell phone onto pieces of cell phone.
That's so useful! I didn't think of that! Holy fuck!
Well, say it again?
He had the suggest that you start creating a spirit that can print from my cell phone a picture I've taken directly onto a piece of paper or whatnot.
Why are we doing that?
Think about it. We could take a picture of somebody and, like, sell the painting, quote unquote. We could, like, have a photocopier, like, effectively. From
by the way, WPW, so I did deduct 2 XP from your sheet to pay for the sorcerer's work that you completed.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if there's anyone in town who, like, can sell or rent those lizards I saw those other people riding around on. Just to get us something. That
I figured out what sorceress working I want to do in the second week. I want to try and make a spirit that can, like, calm me down if I go crazy.
Oh, that's good.
An emotional support spirit.
Yeah, like... Because I don't think I can rely on these fuckers to help. So
No,
I want a panic attack helping spirit that, that kind of says calming, reassuring things. And kind of...
Yeah, I mean, I'll allow that as a working, but do bear in mind that your derangement is, like, legitimate, like, actual mental trauma.
Yeah, I mean, just, that kind of helps with that, I suppose. Just generally...
So basically you're gonna have, your mental image of the Void Emissary, like, hissing evil into your one ear, and then you have, like, your Bob Ross spirit on the other side. Like, hey, you're gonna be okay. It's alright.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
We all feel stressed out sometimes.
It's like, I got, like, a hotline if you need it. Just gives me glasses of water, that kind of thing.
Oh my god, Mido, yes. WPW, just for the sake of, what do you want the finesse to be? I mean, I'm going to say this, it's basically a carbon copy of your other project, but finesse is the thing that you determine.
I'm in shock. You built a magic psychiatrist.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess I could just go 5 again, since I didn't need to roll it last time.
Okay. I mean, since that week already passed, let's just go ahead and roll your technique.
Magical psychiatrist. I know you were working off of like a background music thing, but this is way too soothing. Got anything jazzier?
Right, so I roll, so I get a excellency, get an automatic success, I get +1 extra die. Wait, no, I don't. Do I? Well, this isn't. Okay, I don't for that. And I re-roll the 10s. I think. That's all right. Yeah, that's all good.
Most excellent.
I am. I didn't mess that up, right? Anything that doesn't apply
I
there?
don't think so, but I would expect that you know your sheet. Okay. Anyway, so that is 5 successes, right? Because your 6th counts as the 1st, since it's finesse 5. So yes, you create your little emotional support spirit, and since it's finesse 5, you can basically define it however you want.
Okay, let me just think about that a bit while everyone's doing their shit.
Okay, Maido, were you asking me something?
Yeah, I was looking to see if there was anyone who like sold or rented those lizard things I saw people riding around as mounts.
I need to give those guys a name. Where are you again? Mani-Er is a pretty small town. Like, there's not a lot of. There are people who own them, but you're not gonna find like a breeder or a place that rents them out like Chocobo style. Someone does suggest that the town of Sirahan to the west. They do have such a, they have breeders there who breed the lizards and sell them and rent them and all that.
Final Fantasy 14 lied to me.
Those bastards. Oh, I see this is your first time here. Let me just add your name to the registrar.
And every single town too. So you said Zerahan?
Yeah, it's pretty close by. It's less than 100 kilometers. Actually, much. It's like 50. I need to make smaller. Steps on the scale.
Is there like there's a road we can walk?
Yeah. And so that actually brings me to the next point. So, Zeph, presumably you're gonna stay and like kind of watch over this process of Shibboleth, because obviously it's very pertinent here in this. WPW. I guess you did the working on the 2nd week, right? So,
Yeah.
We're gonna say that completes as you get in town. So, Maido, I'm gonna say that you can do the journey in a day if you wanted to go there, and
Yeah.
check out some lizards.
Yeah, like I'll go there, get some lizards, come back.
Yeah,
I can take care of myself.
Yeah, but and relevance to making the 100-kilometer journey to get to the ship, I'm gonna have to be naturally accompanying that, since the plan is naturally. In fact, we can make a little quest out of it. Go there, repair the ship there, sail it back.
Yeah, no, I'm just getting the lizards so we can go there.
All right, so Zeph, so we're gonna say like a few days pass, right? We're gonna dot that one.
All right.
Zeph, while you're kind of like looking over this, but so there are ships that are currently in production, right? Or like I said, they have to find a buyer and close a contract before they start building. There are ships that are in progress. You hear or overhear or are told that lately, there have been a lot of ships being destroyed around the Tear. I mean, the Tear, as you learn, is essentially an anomalous zone. People have not really explored it a whole lot because it's essentially a violently magical anomalous zone, is what it sounds like. Like, you get like weird gravity anomalies and stuff like that, and twisted, strange monsters. One type of wish is called the Doom Dragon, and it is the animal from which the material for the dragon throat sails is obtained. And as it so happens, they're actually short of dragon throat sails to complete their current projects.
So they need somebody to go out and kill a bunch of dragon motherfuckers.
As it so happens, they actually are in the process of hiring a crew to do so. You learn that they have hired they have on retainer a sandship crew of a sandship called the Evan Miracle, who is due to make a journey up to Chopsy this week and go do dragon.
I'm going to be like, hold that thought and go right over there and sell our service.
Okay, you're told they're going to arrive 2 days. So you
2 days. Cool. All right, that is good to know. I'm going to start asking people about how, we need a crew to kill a single dragon, huh? Okay, Jesus, what do these things look like?
I haven't given a specific description to them, so I'm just going to say they look like dragons. They are quadruped, kind of, I guess, a hybrid between a European and Eastern dragon. Yeah, they're dragons. Usually they're enormous, like, vicious creatures that come out of the terror to hunt. Since people moved into the area, they bring livestock and stuff like that, and the humans themselves are also targets. And since they're such big, monstrosities who breathe fire that's so hot it turns to sand and glass, they're difficult for humans to keep at bay.
I was thinking something like this. I am just remembering Star Wars.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I would give it a longer name.
That's a crate dragon from Star Wars. They actually live in the desert, so.
Yes.
And they're also huge.
Okay, so a couple of days pass. Mido, you return with, you have a bunch of lizards on ropes that I still haven't thought of a name for. Guys, what should we name the bipedal riding lizards?
1 second. I'm gonna give it an actual good name.
Black Diablos.
No. That's I'm making it into a freaking actual good dinosaur name.
Well, I was going to suggest calling them Ogahira. It's Arabic for small dragon.
Can you type that out?
Whoops, misspelled it. Hold on.
What a suckers. And I will be right back. Okay, I return.
Arena Dawn. Roughly, like, sand lizard.
Sand lizard.
Okay, I'm gonna combine the two. We'll call them Harigira.
There we go.
Okay, so Miter, you returned to town with your, I guess you go, you got like 5 of them, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. I would say you spent the major. Did you rent them or did you buy them out?
If we're getting a sand ship, I probably would have rented them.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna say that's not a trivial expense. So that'll probably knock us down to effectively 1 resources at a time. But we're poised to do pretty well.
Yeah, we can just spend another 2 weeks with Cyrus sleeping around and.
Okay, so
Big city prostitute
that
goes.
small being at the pub. I'm gonna give it a name. Let's call it. Oh shit! Oh god! Where's Okay, we're gonna call it Chakravarti's place.
Chakravarti's?
Yeah, Chakravarti.
Chakravarti's place.
The Denny's of the desert.
So yeah, I'll talk to the group and be like, yeah, so, I've rented the lizards. We should get some supplies together, then we can head out and find that ship. WPW can scout from the air from time to time, see if you can spot anything, try to direct us. Sound good, everyone?
But I'm not exactly comfortable with the idea of us forging out into the middle of like crazy arid death desert by ourselves. But I mean, why not?
We should be fine. I mean, I'm reasonably skilled at killing things. Should be able to protect us pretty well.
Mida, you haven't yet to actually kill something. With your guns, anyway. You killed WPW right proper.
Yeah. Let's just say. Also, as you guys saw on the caravan journey, I can be very, very intimidating. Be probably hard pressed to find something I couldn't intimidate.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess we'll just have to, buy up some supplies. I mean, how long? What is it? You said it was like 100 kilometers, right? So.
Yeah, 100, 150.
A couple days, right? I assume the lizards are pretty fast.
Yeah. Sorry, I just had this image of, like, this big, like, quadruped dragon, like, comes up, roars at us. I just, like, roar back, and it, like, fucking turns tail and runs away.
Ah! Like raise your arms above your head, try to make yourself look as big as possible.
I'm just reminded this one time me and Jared were in Costa Rica and we were at a resort and we walk into a common and this little crab runs across the path and stops. And we just like, oh, hello there, friend. We like lean down and we're like, hello. And it rises up on its hind legs and Caw! And we just bust out laughing and it just scampers on. It was like this little thing that just was like, I'ma fight you, bitch!
You stay back! I got claws, man!
I didn't know. It was also the first time I've ever heard a crab make, like, a crab noise.
But yeah, one thing I'm also going to do is when I have a... How fast do moats accumulate? Like, just naturally?
I forget the rate. I think they changed it significantly from first edition because combat regeneration is the primary mode now.
Yeah, so like something I meant to do was even back while we were in Maki, I was going to find a quick moment just to turn on my harmonious presence meditation with like the 7 mode
outside
version.
of battle, characters regain 5 modes per hour. So yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Is there anything equivalent to like a compass?
Yeah, we should probably buy one of those.
Actually, what I was thinking of is that if I could find out how they're made, I could just make one. Then, if I can learn how to make one, I could start getting some silver.
Didn't we, alright, we didn't buy one. There was one in the other old store, but yeah, they do have compasses, don't they? But we have people who have perfect orientation, so we don't need it.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Oh, I have that. What am I talking about?
I was about to say.
I'm like, man, that's kind of weird that I didn't think to buy a compass before. Must have been some reason.
Okay, so guess I could just thing to kind of figure that one out. Oh wow! Here's a random question: does the compass on my phone work?
It does not. It does not. You load it up and it just spins around.
All right, it's kind of just like searching for a signal. Searching for.
You do ask about it because you were in a place where they build ships of both varieties. I have to think of a good name for it, but basically what they use as a compass is essentially a minor enchanted needle of glass, which always points towards the tear. And so, essentially, the means of navigation is radial, and not by square coordinates.
Fair enough. And I suppose people could always just use the stars as usual.
Right.
But that's interesting. Hey, how close are we to the tear? Let me check my magic needle. It was the forward, now it's to the right of us. Good. Run away from it.
All right, so let's head north towards the tear now.
Ah.
Well, that's
Are you gonna bring up the Dune Dragon Hunter?
No, I'm gonna let it be a surprise. No, yeah, I'm gonna bring it's like just sit on the dragon knowledge and then one shows up, I'll be like, a dragon! And everyone's like,
What the fuck?
well, that is interesting, but I'd say we head for the ship first. Just because we want to try to get to it before any, like, in case if there's stuff to be salvaged from it, we want to get there before it gets salvaged by other people.
Yeah, also, just as a point of note, a crashed ship near the tear. I wonder what caused the ship to crash.
Well, it wasn't crashed, it was destroyed.
That's even worse.
Yeah, it's fine.
Nothing to worry about.
I'll take care of anything that comes after us.
Yeah, sure, though I would like to point out that these things breathe fire, possibly, so I don't know how well our guns are going to do against them.
There isn't anything like flame resistance in Exalted, right?
There is! There are elementals!
We covered that today, actually, but
shit.
we're just gonna play it by ear.
Well, I'll just scare them. I'll get them.
Here, this'll make everything better. We walked for 3 days in the desert, and we didn't see anything. How bad could it be?
Let's travel to Chopsy. I assume is there a road? There's probably a road.
Let's go to Chopsticks.
There actually is not a road. We'll be traveling. I probably ask around a little bit or something like that. Most of the area around the tear is devoid of roads because sand chips are in common use.
Oh, okay. Well, guess we'll be heading out on our lizards then.
Are there things like way markers?
Can I have the comfort spirit be like a flying carpet? We're not actually carrying people, but like, kind of move.
We're not
like...
Aladdin.
Hold
I
on.
have just the thing.
Also, it was a finesse 5, so you can say what it is. My W.
Within reason is what it establishes.
As my understanding is, finesse 5 means you could just basically go hog wild so long as it doesn't interfere with the core issues of the circumstance. And I am.
Okay, basically, what I want with the spirit is that it's kind of like you can sort of wear it like a scarf, I suppose. Yeah, kind of like that. However, because I'm from Earth, it's embroidered with the painter with the craziest issues I know, Van Gogh. So,
Wow.
and
Sure.
their name is Hypnos.
Mido, shoot WPW. He's turned traitor.
Adventure over.
And then shoot me afterwards.
The second shot's for myself. You got 2 guns. Figure it out.
I just got
Okay, so
both
as
in my
you
mouth.
guys are preparing for your journey, you go out to the stores and buy supplies and all that stuff. Zeph, you're so as we're at Chakravarti's, you see the guy who told you about the Dune Dragon expedition. He said, "Oh, you're packing up to head off. Where do you guys go?"
We're going to a town called Chopsticks. And we're going to go. Should I actually tell him? We're going to go salvage some pieces of a ship.
Oh, that should be interesting. Hey, you might run across the crew of the Ever Miracle. They're actually headed to Chopsy. That's where they do their hunting.
Oh, I thought they were coming here in 2 days.
Yeah, they are, but they're heading up there.
I thought I was gonna just like tell them that we were interested in the. So wait, hold on. They're gonna head straight there.
Yeah, I mean, more or less. They're that's what we hire them for.
And they do their dragon hunting in the location that we're about to go to.
Yeah.
When are they set to arrive in town?
They should be here tomorrow.
Mido, the trip's canceled. I got a new plan.
What?
Mido, you're coming back from the store with, bags of supplies.
What?
Listen. There's a. All right, so there's a crew going to Chopsy tomorrow, where they hunt dragons, in preparation to hunting dragons. It's a fully armed crew on a sand ship. They have their own supplies. They're looking for people to help hunt dragons with them.
But I rented these lizards.
We can take those too.
But have to check it out with them.
We can take them too and just not tell them about it or ask them.
Alternatively, we could say that we're going to the same location. We can work alongside them, maybe scout out ahead of them. And we're going there to salvage a ship. We basically are full coverage with them. And then we can effectively bodyguard them from the ground, assuming we can move as fast as a sand ship. I don't actually. Otherwise, we can play it by ear. And then get
the shipwright, whose name is Huang Yuhan, right? He's got a very long and easy name. Mentions, I see you guys have, a team of Haragira. I don't recommend taking those into the deep desert. They're herbivores, and the plants that they graze on are going to be really hard to find out in the desert.
God
Shit.
damn. Why did this all information come out after I spent most of our money on renting lizards?
Jason C. double takes. You did what?
It's fine.
No, we can use the lizard. For something else, though.
What exactly?
Food?
Lizard.
I rented them.
You just say they got lost. They ran away.
We have pets.
They're kind of big for pets. I kind of imagine if they're hard to feed in the desert on foot, it's gonna be the same thing if we take them on the ship, right?
Alright, well, I'll take him back, see what I can get back. Because, you know, I'm taking him back really early.
Well, hold on that thought. Because we still don't know whether or not they're going to actually let us jump on board the ship.
Well, the guy said we shouldn't take these into the deep desert anyway, so that plan's shot anyway. So they're going to be here in, like, what, a day? It takes me, on these lizards, it's a lot faster, so, you know, I should be back a couple of hours after they get here or something like that. So why don't you, like, open negotiations and, like, I'll join you when I get back. I should be the one to take the lizards back anyway, because, like, I can probably make a reasonably impassioned argument for a bit of a refund.
That's fair. Yes, you go do that, because I straight up a spitball, and I have no idea what the fuck we're going to do with a bunch of lizards.
Yeah, so I will go and return the lizards.
Right, why don't you ride off for whatever the fuck that town was called?
Zirahan.
There you go, there you go.
So Zirahan has the lizards. Interesting. I wonder if they sold the lizards to that pirate lady. The pieces are all coming together. WTW created a monster.
Oh, God. WPW has a very reassuring towel lead.
Honestly, I'm just picturing now as, like, Linus from Peanuts.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like,
Okay, so the rest of us spend the night in the extremely boring town of Manier. Really, you know, to emphasize what I said earlier. I mean, there's really nothing. This is just there's like the shipyards. So the way the town is set up is it's basically divided into two halves. One half faces the lake and has docks and whatever facilities for water ships, and then the other half of town has docks and facilities for sand ships. Which is very interesting. There essentially just looks like a bunch of scaffolding with ramps and whatnot, and you see a couple of sand ships pull through, for repairs or whatever to dock and get fixed up, and they look like boats, and they kind of just. It's interesting because they're not submerged in the sand; they're just floating on top of the sand. So the scaffoldings that serve as their docks and piers are raised above the ground to give you easy access to decks.
Whoa, boats! That's cool.
Well. Okay, so yeah, the day passes by. Staff, I presume you head over to the shipyard, whatever the headquarters you call it, to wait for the arrival of the Evamir.
Yeah, give them a good appraisal. See if this is actually a bad idea going to these people whatsoever, and
Don't forget,
maybe seeing what some trained dragon slayers look like.
try to remember you can also communicate with each other using Argos, the UPS bird.
Argos the UPS bird, I love it.
I'm gonna call Argoth right now and tell WPW that I think that his new spirit is kind of gay.
Wow.
It's like you know, Hypnos just says you're just saying that because you're sexually confused and you're angry.
Does Hypnos tell the bird? Tell me that.
They're working together.
Oh god, they're living, running gags. Alright, so, Mido, you return to Monier in time to compete with Zeph and presumably the others.
Hypnos is like, it doesn't...
Join upon Yukon and the other people to go to the docks and wait for the Evan Miracle.
Did I have to get like some manner?
Oh, that's right. So you ended up getting about a 70% refund. So the seller stated that there's a deposit involved, so you forfeit the deposit when you make a rental. And so this is all he can give you back.
And then Mado just pulls out his gun and he's like, "So, threaten dice. I think I deserve all the money back."
No, I could make an impassioned argument about, you know, leaving him a portion of the deposit and like whatnot, because you know, presence plus charisma doesn't have to be I threaten someone's life at all turns.
I mean, or it could just be you saying, "Hey, I basically stabled your animals for a day on my dime. How about you pay me back this? I don't need your animals anymore."
Yeah.
Just complain that, you know, there was a fault with them, you know, you want a refund.
To the clerk or whatever you call him. Yeah, sure. Make a charisma plus presence roll. Your difficulty is going to be 3. All right, 3 successes. Yeah, you know what? The guy kind of like rolls his eyes and nods along and says, "You know what? I get it. Sure. Here you go." So you do end up getting a 100% refund. You know, the lizards are in the whatever the hell we decided to call them, the Haragira, are in perfect shape. So you know, it's all good.
30-day money back guarantee.
This is the most reasonable Wild West I've ever been a part of.
I mean, it is also, I've got 14 dice for, like, presence plus charisma.
No, you said that they still have the warranty on them.
You guys are in the most civilized area, like near the capital cities.
Didn't stop Texas.
Faces Texas.
My face.
Anyway, yeah, so I'll join the group waiting for the, the adventure group to come to the docks.
Okay, so you guys await the arrival of the Evan Miracle, and lo and behold, it does in fact show up. I would say it's one of the smaller sized ships, Zeph, based on your experience and what you've learned about the process of constructing sand ships. It has a crew of about, 20 people. The captain's name is Jafar Al-Sese. He, oh god, I should probably come up with descriptions for these guys. I don't know. He looks like a sand ship captain. You know, he's got a bandana tied around his head. And, we'll say he has an eye patch because eye patches are cool.
And also would help see as soon as the night comes, if you want to sail on through the night, because your eyes are going to be worn from seeing all the sunshine. You know, it's like just like going underground, but pitch black at night. Having to rely on fire to pull your ship and whatnot, you know, you could just maneuver with that. Also, you know, you can make them look like dragon slayers. Like, what specialized equipment do you need to hunt a dragon?
You see that the Evan Miracle has harpoon guns mounted on its decks.
Are those glass gunpowder harpoon guns?
The traditional dragon slayers of our age.
Yeah, they're essentially cannons with big old fucking harpoons, big crude glass harpoons, which are attached to chains.
Like the ones in Game of Thrones, or in the Hobbits.
There's there's a trial in FF14. Oh, Bismarck. Bismarck. If you guys have done Bismarck, you know.
Yeah, both WBW and I have obviously done Bismarck.
I have not. I don't know what Bismarck is.
Is that the one where he like walks up the bridge?
No, that's
the
worst
that
one.
That one also has good guns. I can't find a good. Oh, this will work.
Bismarck is the giant whale.
Oh right, him. Well, that wasn't. He wasn't not really a dragon though, is he? I mean, that's like a whole a Moby Dick kind of thing.
So yeah, the harpoon guns they're not as big as this, because you know you can't really fit many of those on a boat and still crew it effectively. But yeah, you see that it's you know harpoons. The majority of the crew they're carrying rifles. The captain, of course, is carrying a brace of pistols that are in similar style to yours, Sam. And yeah, he hops off the boat, flanked by, 3 of his presumably right and left-hand dudes, and kind of greets everybody. Talks to the representatives from the shipyard, and they kind of talk about business.
I'll wait for a good opportunity to try to talk to the captain about buying passage to Topsy.
Oh, a company.
Or accompany to Topsy.
No, I'll accompany Mido.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, yeah. So Mido, as you speak up, actually, what's his face? God damn it! I need to write these names all.
I also want to be there as well.
Wang Yuhan kind of gestures and says, "Oh yeah, so these are some travelers from Ashimachi. I had mentioned that you guys were taking the trip. It seemed like they might be interested in going along. What do you say?"
Actually,
the captain kind of eyeballs you. Again, the guy's name is Jafar something.
Jafar.
He says, we're heading that way anyways, but you're definitely gonna have to make use of yourselves. Are any of you familiar with how to operate a sand ship?
Gonna kind of look at Zeph.
Wait, the ships go on sand?
WPW has been locked away in, a tavern room doing sorceress workings. He's totally unaware of everything that's happening.
That and peeking on Cyrus.
Weird.
Yes, I'm incredibly good at piloting sand. I can also do repairs, and I can also hunt. I'm pretty proficient with a pistol, and I can handle a wide variety of ship work.
I myself am a crack shot with my fire wand, trained in fire wand martial arts, and I'm extremely good at instructing bandits to turn around before they die.
I can fly!
He told... What's the name of that pirate lady?
Ozma Shen.
We had a run-in with Ozma Shenlong the other day, and it was quite incredible, actually. Mido told her to get, and she got...
Yep, turned tail, ran away.
Zeph and Mido, and sure, WPW too. Just roll a charisma plus presence. There's no difficulty to this. I just want to see how effective your guys' presentation.
Oh, that was a terrible roll. Do the other two have to also roll their own?
Yeah, just give me a sec. It was charisma plus what again? Charisma plus.
Presence.
Oh my god. Of course, the most successful one is the guy who says, "I can fly." Okay, so in turn, Zeph, the captain kind of eyes you sidelong. You know, like, it's pretty clear from his expression that he really just does not believe you up with this. You know, you kind of piled it on for him there. Now, granted, all of those things are true. To tell him all that in sequence, he's like, "Well, we'll just see how you do when you're actually on the vessel."
Yeah,
right
I mean, to be fair,
and kind of nods. You know, you do have this air of being a very competent rifleman, and you know, you're carrying, you know, what is essentially like a super exotic firearm. So, you know, it's like, okay, gotcha. And you know, when WPW says I can fly, he notices that WPW literally has fucking wings and says, "Wow, what an incredibly useful attribute."
Yeah, who needs a crow's nest? I'm a crow's nest all to myself.
I love that he's like, I can fly. He's like, well, you have wings. Yes. Holy
Yes,
shit.
you can fly. Good work, kid.
That's incredible. But yeah, it's like, I can pilot a boat, and literally, I have yet to touch a boat, except with my feet when I got to get here. But yes.
Okay, yeah. So there's a little bit of continuing negotiations between Captain Jafar and the shipwrights. You know, they agree on a price and, you know, a duration and kind of a, you know, they're just looking for one set of bellows, but you know, obviously anything they can bring back would be good. And his name's Huang, right? Okay, yes, his name is Huang. That motherfucker. I'm writing him out of the fucking story from here on. Huang does mention that you guys were interested in, you had heard of a wrecked ship in the area, so that might be something to look into point out.
Yes, and we'll be staying there to repair the ship when we're out there. So at the very least, hey, if we either we die or we our states make the to repair a ship. So either way, you don't have to worry about us on the return trip.
Wait, what language are they speaking in? What language are they speaking in?
That's right. You guys have been in town for like pretty much 3 or 4 weeks now, almost a full month. One of the very interesting things that you discover is that even in the poorer areas of the region, people are pretty well educated. Almost all of the population is bilingual, if not trilingual. So most everybody speaks Azir and Law.
Should have popped
in
my
this current case, you guys, the captain and everybody, they're all conversing in Azir. But WPW, you say I can fly in Long, and he responds to you in Long.
Cool.
Oh, I was just gonna think he had very rudimentary understanding of his, and it was like in very broken, like as if I can fly.
Oh, that works too. Yeah.
Yeah. So has he heard of any spirits, you know, that might have magic powers that I could learn?
I should have popped the socialized charm. I just realized I was like, yeah, we're probably gonna die, but
Yeah, and like I said, like it becomes abundantly clear that the captain finds Zeph's manner very unnerving. There's just something about Zeph rubs him the wrong way. Probably because he's a ship captain, and Zeph's like, I'm an amazing, ship person. I can do all these things, and he's like, oh yeah.
I can tie things with a rope.
yeah,
Yard
right.
sails.
I got a great avast.
Yeah, I can take ships left, right, and all of those directions.
I'll do a fucking barrel roll. I don't even care.
You watch me. I'm gonna take. We are going to do a barrel roll by the end of the story.
Oh no.
I don't care if it's into hell. It's gonna happen.
Okay, so yeah, the negotiations conclude. Captain Jafar does eventually, concede, like, okay, you guys, yeah, you're good. You can come along for the trip. Just, make sure you're helpful. So the crew, they don't really look. They're not pirates. They're definitely like sailors. They're professionals. So the way they're dressed, is more, their shit isn't like, cobbled together. But there is a certain degree of like, they all have a very unique setup. Like each of them has, they wear their jackets a different way, or one rolls up his pant, one rolls up one pant leg, one doesn't, blah blah blah, that kind of shit.
I should have made my knowledge and equipment and whatnot, because I'm just sitting here being like, but what is about their? Can I tell by the way they're dressed, like what it is and what fighting a dragon is and what's involved into that process?
A lot of shooting. You notice a couple of them are carrying like short swords and daggers, but they look more like utility, like tools. So at a glance, you gather that there's not a lot of like, melee with a dragon, which, I mean, that makes total sense for an absolute mortal.
So a whole bunch of shooting it well, then the harpoons that were so that so it can't escape. I see. So it's effectively you're always maintaining a specific range with it.
Yeah, again, at a glance, you kind of figure that the tactic must be find the dragon, chase the dragon down, tether it with the harpoons, and just shoot the fuck out of it until it died.
Pretty standard stuff.
And, hopefully it's scared and flees and doesn't charge the boat. Because that would be terrible.
Are we still in the session 1 notes?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, so
I was really expecting that these guys were going to say no, and that they become like next session's antagonists.
Just steal their. I thought we were gonna steal their ship.
Hey, and if we were not so good at talking, we might have had to.
Okay, so you all climb on board the Evan Miracle. As previously stated, it's a smaller vessel. The accommodations are not particularly comfortable. Essentially, the sleeping situation is like hammocks that are strung up along the side of the cargo deck. But it'll do in a pinch. And so you take the journey to Chopsy. It's about 100 kilometers. The ship moves fairly fast. If any of you have traveled on a naval vessel, they go at a pretty good clip. Obviously, it's nothing compared to a car, but we're operating on. Oh, and you guys do get a detailed look on how sand ships travel, which is by these dragon throat sails that are latticed in spell glass, which convert light into kinetic momentum, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Which is throttled by a black sheet that's raised and lowered over the sail.
Holy shit!
I spend the journey kind of just flying above the ship's sails and just kind of enjoying the breeze and generally floating over the ship as it goes along.
Yeah, so right now you guys are moving into the heart of the desert proper. Meaning like, back where you guys came from, it was kind of like, there's an oasis here, there's a river over there, there's a couple hundred years worth of irrigation farms and shit like that. This is like desert.
But is it like the Outback Desert or like Sahara Desert?
This is more like Sahara. It's like just bleak dunes as far as the eye can see.
I think I read somewhere that in Australia, living in the outback is actually safer than the cities because it's so inhospitable. Most of the dangerous animals don't bother going there either.
I guess
you involve animals. Test JWW coming up with all this shit. I really haven't mentioned any of it. I've just used the stuff that I came up with before I asked.
What a chump.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I should mention when I got on board the ship, I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm on a boat.
Everybody look at me, because I'm standing on a boat.
That is exactly where my mind went. Good job there. Alright, so yeah, you guys embark on the 100 kilometer journey. You know, it doesn't take that long. You guys are there in, I don't know, 1,000. And you arrive at the town of Chopsy, which is a very, you know, WBW, of course, since you're flying, you see it well ahead of the ship's arrival. It is a small town. It's very isolated. So as previously mentioned, because sand ships are really the primary mode of transportation between towns in the Reach proper, there's really not a lot of there are no roads leading out of town, right? The town is just kind of like this very self-contained, very insular type deal.
Where's the ship guy going next? Like, is there a, you know, has he got another port of call, or is he staying here?
Yeah, so you guys do end up docking at Chopsy, just to refresh on supplies and stuff like that, and you know, just do basic maintenance on the ship, which Zeph you help out with, and just to get ready for the the expedition ahead. Welcome back.
All right. While we're there, I'm going to ask around in town about whether or not where people know if people know where the location of the wreck.
Oh, Zeph, roll your intelligence plus investigate.
Wow, that's a kind of suck dick. I'm a roll.
You can use your willpower.
I'll do that. I'm going to spend a willpower on that. I'm going to investigate super hard.
You just gotta believe, man. All right, one success. So you guys are you get a general, you know, you borrow the map from Mido, or actually you pull up the map on your phone, which is, you know, everybody's like absolutely fascinated with. Not explicitly so, because they live in a magic world. These people utilize magic in their everyday life through spirits and as such. But it is pretty fascinating to see that. You know, you hear someone referring to it as a tombstone, which suggests that there might be something, you know, vaguely in this world. Dun dun dun.
How are people reacting to me like pooping out genies anyway?
What's up?
How are people react to me
They're not
pooping out
privy-
spirits?
They're not exactly privy to their manner of creation, so the end result.
You just have spirits. I mean, that's not.
Oh, so they just figure I just picked him up. Cool, okay.
Well, I mean, they'd be if someone was to watch us for a long term, they'd start to be wondering where your stone is that they're like operating out of or operating off, and eventually, it may eventually come to the realization that they do not aren't linked to a stone.
So,
Which I think would
does
be
anyone in this town know about any spirits which might have magic powers?
You know what? I would normally laugh my ass off that you keep asking that, but out of all the towns, the town that is close to the rift in reality would know more about evil spirits.
Yeah,
than
WPW, someone mentions that there are rumors that the town of Jarlagun, to the north across the Tear, the people there are dealing in you know, like basically forbidden chapters of magic, and like with specific to spirit.
Forbidden.
In the town of Jarlagun.
Yes.
Forbidden spirit magic. You can fuck a spirit.
Yeah, I mean, what exactly is forbidden at this point? Like, I mean, there's...
Also, to go back on our conversation earlier, it is generally forbidden to create spirits that like maliciously kill people. Or
Oh,
generally,
dude,
generally, you know, spirits that levy whose purpose is to levy curses.
Yeah, and I imagine since the area is no longer at war, spirits created for like battle, for warfare, the ones that would no longer have anything to do now, their purpose has been like bringing those things out of hiding, or bringing those things out of like being sealed, or bringing those things back into existence would be not good times new.
Yeah, there's a series of permits that one must obtain from the Macan government to keep a war spirit.
Oh shit! I guess I
Permits.
You have to be
I
suppose I should apply for one of those.
Like imagine building a spirit like out of like permanent burning gunpowder and having him like fly through a person.
Jesus.
Like you would breathe in fire and it would just go deeper into you.
And it would smell awesome. I fucking love the way burnt gunpowder smells. It's so.
Well, that isn't weird at all.
Well, I mean, people used to try to get high off snorting gunpowder, and it's causes enough.
Yeah. No, you know what? To be that looking into it, because I've actually done it a couple of times. But you mix it with cocaine.
Yeah.
I think it might just be the cocaine.
It's a medicinal thing. The gunpowder doesn't. It's pretty neutral, like biologically.
It's
Yeah,
all.
I mean,
It's the aesthetic.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm doing cocaine mixed with gunpowder.
Yeah, and then
I fucking love America.
When I went to blow my nose later, it was like, oh, wow, there's all the gunpowder.
How American did you feel?
Good times.
Okay then.
Did you reach peak American by
Right. So yeah.
snorting cocaine with gunpowder?
Let's say you overnight in Chopsy, right? You guys have your own monies. Rent your own monies. Chopsy again it's a small town. It's not like thriving, but it kind of operates under. I'm trying to think of a good way to explain it. It's not like a practically abandoned town. It doesn't have like the manufacturing focus that Manier did. Like it's just a place where people live. People live and they have business there. There's basic farms. All or most of the necessities of life are taken care of within the city limits. So yeah, you guys spend the night there. And prepare to set off on your journey.
So, team, how are you feeling about hunting dragons? That's pretty cool, right?
Honestly, I'm just kind of really excited about fighting this ship. A little nervous whether or not these dragons will be fireproof.
Yeah, that does seem like a bit of a pickle, right? Maybe you can like stick your gun in its mouth because its insides wouldn't be. Wait, hold on. I guess its insides would be the most fireproof because it has to breathe fire.
Yeah, I mean it literally breathes fire, man.
In my worst case scenarios, once I really get into my stance, I can really like punch the dragon with my gun. But
You gotta punch the dragon with your
Stick
gun.
Your gun up its ass.
It's just see if this is fireproof, bitch.
Oh god.
We'll just have it eat your gun, and then your gun explodes, I suppose.
How close is the shipwreck area to the area that we're going to be fighting this dragon tomorrow?
Oh yeah, has anyone heard of this this rare lazulum element that is the Excalibur of ship crystals?
Captain Jafar has heard of it because his crew does business around the Tear. They know of it. Like they've encountered many adventurers who are forging the Tear to look for it, and very few of them ever returned, unfortunately. But to date, no one has found it yet.
Cool.
Zeph. So the shipwreck is, let's say, like 50 kilometers east of Chopsy, up near the border. And as you remark on it, Captain Jafar says, well, that's in our area that we're going to be hunting around, so we'll probably see it on. So yeah, with that, it is 3 p.m. and sadly that means I will have to stop this session. Congratulations, you made it to the end of session 3 without dying.
Holy
Or
fucking
killing
shit.
anyone,
Right.
for that matter, actually. Shit.
Yeah, we talked our way out. Well, I mean, there wasn't exactly a lot of opportunity.
Right.
You know. I mean, yeah, I figured this was going to be like we'd have more rivals. Actually, we might be take this ability chance to learn how to kill dragons and then run with that. That could be our thing.
Honestly, given my insane intimidate dice, we're probably gonna end up with a lot of fights where it's just like villain shows up. Ido intimidates.
Can you
villain.
intimidate
It's
a
just
dragon?
like, yes. Yes, I can intimidate anything.
About a
That's
stone.
a non-special power. I can intimidate automatons.
What?
I
Oh.
can scare a robot.
What about if you use it on a mirror?
I mean, I probably can't intimidate myself because that's not how intimidation works.
You
I
won't know
used-
until you try.
You could intimidate. I thought you could intimidate anything!
Things that normally can't be intimidated. You could literally scare yourself shitless.
Oh my god, his one weakness, enemies that hold up mirrors.
The mirror would become afraid.
Oh, the mirror breaks.
Like, the reflection itself would be terrified, but Mido would not be terrified. It's just the reflection itself is terrified.
He's so bad, he makes medicine sick.
Tastes terrible. I guess you could take... Okay, Infinite Motion, quick question. Here's a quick question. If he goes like full terror mode and I take a picture of him with my phone,
Oh
does
shit!
the picture have intimidation check?
It's like a Medusa! You gotta keep it in a bag and then you pull it out and it turns people to stone.
Would it just be
Anyway.
like a really scary picture?
Yeah, I can intimidate literally anything. So, like, yeah, I could scare the dragon.
Can't people just spend a willpower for that?
No.
What if I took a video?
Wait, how does
I mean,
that work
the
again?
prompts would be
What
in
can you
effect.
exactly can
Okay,
you...
so
I mean the whole
You're
decision
basically-
point thing, doesn't that apply?
well, I mean, like, basically, I can intimidate them into doing whatever, to doing something I want, but it gives them a negative tie towards me.
I mean, as
And then
previously mentioned, it is in the interest of the ship, after they tethered the dragon, for the dragon to not charge the ship. So that could be very useful.
And my martial arts form is an AoE pseudo intimidate that gives a bunch of negatives that can be ignored with a willpower, but they're still considered to have been intimidated by me in regards to all my charms that combo off of firing at someone who's intimidated by me.
Wait, so how does the decision point thing work with social combat again?
Was that social combat, Doc?
My only
I was
focus and concern is how am I going to get the captain to let me pilot his ship that he's the pilot? The answer is he's probably going to have to.
Okay, so WPW, verbatim. Refusing successful influence to make the character do something is tricky. When a character fails to resist such influence with his resolve, he enters into a special state called the decision point. In the decision point, the player must choose an intimacy and explain how it justifies resisting that specific influence. The intimacy he chooses must be of equal or greater intensity than the intimacy which supported his goal, and it cannot be the same one that strengthened his resolve against him in the first place. So it's a player-only thing. It doesn't apply to NPCs at all.
Oh, okay.
It's basically a way for players to get out of like, oh the NPC is forcing me to go get his laundry.
Yeah, but you don't like that kind of thing, do you?
Or like the female succubus is, well, female succubus is.
That's a little oxymoronic, no?
Yeah, succubus seduces me, but I'm gay, kind of thing.
Did you just assume the succubus is gender?
I mean, that's in the name. A succubus
When I used to,
takes the form of a woman, and incubus takes the form of a man.
well, maybe maybe I can be a male succubus. You don't know.
Oh jeez, it's 2019.
Then you're an
You're gonna
incubus.
break all these boundaries.
That's just what the name is for
It's
a
a spectrum, Mido.
bus is a spectrum.
Yeah, maybe you should make a few more characters that have are more socially adept that can make us do
Yeah, that's true. This is shaping up to be a very social focused campaign. So
yeah. Well,
I'm loving my build.
your face is like
I mean, honestly, what I'm detecting is we don't have a lot of minor antagonists that are like dudes that are just dicks that do not like us. Can basically talk our way into or out of any circumstances with some reasonable.
I mean, that being said, we are officially 3 sentences away from finishing the session 1 notes.
Hell yeah!
So basically, after this point, like you guys are gonna be in like free for all mode, and you can do things like go, places and encounter minor antagonists.
So we were
Yeah,
expecting session 1 to be like free boat rides and several weeks long.
Yeah, basically, it was expected to just be kind of like, okay, yeah, you guys go and do this.
I mean, why not just start us in the area? I don't. All these this.
No, I like the way you did it.
I'm just saying. I don't. I wouldn't.
There was information to disseminate throughout the storyline that I wanted. Like the whole thing with the journeyman and how do you guys learn about Machian's culture? How do you guys learn about apotheosis? How do you guys learn about sand ships? If I just plunged you down, you'd be like, oh cool, there's sand ships, and oh, everybody has spirits. What the fuck is this?
Okay.
Also boats.
I mean, to be fair, it's just different ways of running things. Yeah, I mean, WPW, you're probably used to the way when we were doing campaign where I would have like such minor, minute focus on how every second of every minute was spent.
I don't even want to think about the way you ran my campaign.
Oh, hard.
I mean, to be fair, I was like, I'm gonna make you work for every single step you take forward, and I'm gonna throw shit at you, motherfucker. And it's like, oh yeah, how many minor antagonists do you have to deal with, WPW? Every person is an antagonist unless you convince them otherwise.
It was pretty funny when you tried to run someone else and everyone just immediately get pissed off and you realised how tolerating little old me was.
Well, I was also very sleep deprived. Anyway, but yeah,
Yep. Everybody gains 5 XP.
Yeah.
Any chance I can get a single hero experience?
I think I should get a hero XP.
Damn it, that puts me.
I was around people. Everyone's being democratic. The Eclipse
Oh
shit.
wait, never mind. I'm fine. I can get another charm.
Eclipse shit is all about being people around you coming to democratic solutions and not fighting. I think I should be raking it in.
And you've been shut up in a tavern room, summoning a huge magical support blank.
I was there when the major kind of talks went down, when they bargained out various shit, when they talked to the boat captain.
You didn't influence anything.
I mean, technically I was present and did those things, where I'm also an Eclipse.
Yeah, but you just made somebody feel nervous about you.
I told Maito how he could get a good bargain on getting his ship back.
And to be fair, I was planning on ceding the scene over to Mido for the negotiation, but then he specifically asked, can you pilot the ship? And everyone looked at me and I'm like, fuck.
Hoisted by your own petard.
Yeah, I feel like
I'm gonna run up and go make something to eat before I head out to work.
I think I've furthered my agenda through diplomatic means.
You pooped out 2 goats, WPW.
WPW, professional ghost pooper.
His butt is a prison for genies.
Does that make his ass like a lamp?